You know, isn't it kind of wild when you think about it? You spend all those years in school learning about everything from algebra to ancient history, but nobody ever sits you down to talk about the one thing that affects literally every day of your life. Money, right? We memorized scientific formulas, but we never learned how to build wealth. The classroom was just silent on the topic. While today, that changes. We're going to cover the essentials step by step.
It's a question I think we've all asked ourselves, and it is just baffling. I mean, we were taught that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. We all remember that one, but not how compound interest could be the powerhouse of our retirement. We learned about wars from centuries ago, but not how to fight our own war against debt. It's like the whole system was designed to get us a job, but it totally forgot to teach us what to do with the money from that job.
And yeah, this number right here, this is the result of that massive gap in our education. Recent studies show that the average American can only get about 48% of basic financial questions right. That's a failing grade. It means that almost half of us are trying to navigate one of the most important parts of life with less than half the knowledge we need. But that can stop right now. So let's start building that knowledge together, and we'll begin with the most important first step, figuring out your financial starting point.
Okay, so before you can get to where you want to go, you have to know exactly where you are right now. And listen, this part is not about judgment. It's not about feeling bad about what you did or didn't do in the past. It is simply about getting an honest, clear picture of your financial health. Think of it like dropping a pin on a map. You can't plot your route until you find that you are here dot.
So the single best number for tracking your financial journey is your net worth. This is your ultimate financial scorecard. It's actually really simple to figure out. You just add up all your assets, that's what you own. So your savings, retirement accounts, the value of your car, your house, anything with value. Then you subtract all your liabilities, that's what you owe. Stuff like credit card debt, student loans, a mortgage. What's left over? That's your net worth. It's a perfect snapshot of your entire financial life at this very moment.
Now, if net worth is your overall score in the game, then cash flow, that's the monthly play-by-play. It shows you if you're gaining ground or losing it. All you do is take your total monthly income after taxes and subtract everything you spend. If that number is positive, awesome, you've got a surplus. If it's negative, well, you're spending more than you're making. And here's why this is so huge. Even a tiny positive cash flow can be a game changer. A surplus of just $300 a month, if you invest it with an 8% return, could grow to over $460,000 in 30 years. It's powerful stuff.
And the third number you gotta know is your financial runway. I love this one. This is your peace of mind number. To find it, you just take your total liquid savings. That's cash you can get your hands on fast, like what's in your checking or savings account, and you divide it by your total monthly expenses. The number you get is how many months you could survive if your income just poof, disappeared tomorrow. This is your buffer. This is what lets you sleep at night.
All right, so we know our starting point. We've found ourselves on the map. The very next step is to build a solid foundation. We call this your financial defense. Now, I know, it's not the sexiest part of building wealth, but trust me, it is the most critical. This is the fortress that protects you when life throws those inevitable curveballs, making sure one bad break doesn't spiral into a financial disaster.
And believe me, those curveballs are coming. This number from the Federal Reserve, it's just staggering. 37% of American adults couldn't cover a simple $400 emergency without having to borrow money or sell something. That is living on a financial knife's edge, where one flat tire, one unexpected trip to the doctor can send you into a debt spiral. Your financial defense is what gets you off that edge for good.
So how do we build this defense? It all starts with an emergency fund, and it's so much simpler than people think. First, just start small. That goal of saving 3 to 6 months of expenses can feel totally overwhelming. I get it. But even $25 a week, that adds up to $1,300 in a year. Second, and this is the most important part, make it automatic. Treat your savings like a bill you have to pay. Set up an automatic transfer for every single payday. And third, keep it separate. A high-yield savings account is perfect. It keeps the money out of sight and out of mind, so you're not tempted to spend it.
Okay, the other huge piece of your financial defense is dealing with debt. And this quote it hits the nail on the head. Having high interest debt, especially credit card debt, is an emergency all on its own. I mean, think about it. Paying 20% interest is like a guaranteed negative 20% return on your money. It will wipe out any progress you're making somewhere else. You've got to plug that hole in the bucket before you can even think about filling it up.
Now, when it comes to paying off debt, there are two main strategies, and honestly, the best one just depends on your personality. First, you've got the debt snowball. This is all about psychology. You pay off your smallest debts first, which gives you these quick wins and builds momentum. It feels great. Then there's the debt avalanche. This one is pure math. You attack the debt with the highest interest rate first, which will save you the most money over time. Neither one is wrong. The best strategy is the one you'll actually stick with.
Okay, so once your defense is solid, you've got an emergency fund started and a plan to tackle your debt, it is time to switch from playing defense to playing offense. This is the fun part. This is where we stop just protecting what we have and we start actively building wealth for the future. This is how you get your money to start working for you so that you don't have to work forever.
The engine behind all wealth creation is a concept so powerful that Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. And the idea is actually pretty simple. You earn a return on your money, and then you start earning returns on your returns. It's a slow burn at first, but over time it creates this unstoppable snowball of growth that is just incredible to watch.
And this right here shows why when you start investing is so much more important than how much you start with. Look at this. An investor who starts at 25 ends up with way more money than someone who starts just 10 years later at 35, even though they invested the exact same amount each month. That 10-year delay, it can cost you more than half your potential wealth. It's wild. Time is your single biggest advantage.
So how do you actually do it? Well, the best part is that a winning strategy is actually surprisingly simple. You do not need to be a stock-picking genius or try to time the market. The most proven path for pretty much everyone is to just consistently invest in low-cost, diversified index funds. An index fund is basically one investment that holds tiny little pieces of hundreds of companies. So your job isn't to be a hero. It's just to be consistent, be patient, and let the market do its thing over the long haul.
We've covered a lot. Your starting point, your defense, your offense. But you know what? None of it means a thing if you don't have a system to make it all happen. So, the final and maybe the most important piece of this puzzle is creating that system, one that runs on its own without you even having to think about it. Because real financial success has nothing to do with having superhuman discipline.
We always think that when we fail with money, it's because we lack willpower. We beat ourselves up, thinking we just need to be more disciplined or more focused. But look, motivation comes and goes. Willpower is a battery that's drained by the end of a long day. Relying on it to build your entire financial future is it's a recipe for failure.
So what's the answer? The secret is automation. It's all about building a system that makes the right decisions for you automatically. It's about creating a path of least resistance that leads you right to your goals. When your financial plan is on autopilot, it just works, whether you feel like it or not.
And here's exactly how you can do it. First, talk to your HR department about splitting your direct deposit. Have a chunk of your paycheck sent straight to your savings account before it ever even touches your checking account. You can't spend what you never see. Second, set up those automatic transfers on payday for your emergency fund or other goals. And finally, automate your investments. Set up a recurring investment into your retirement accounts every single month, no matter what the market's doing.
So there you have it. That's the blueprint. You now know the key concepts that school never taught you. But here's the thing. The information gap isn't the real problem anymore. The only gap that matters now is the one between knowing what to do and actually doing it. And you close that gap with one simple thing: action. So the question I want to leave you with is this: what is your first action going to be? Are you going to calculate your net worth tonight? Are you going to set up that $25 automatic transfer to savings? Just pick one small thing and do it now, because your future starts with whatever you do next.